You're not going to get a job as an art major. As a political science major now, I doubt I'd get a job coming directly out of college unless I went to law school or I wanted to be a teacher.
I had a conversation with a man last night who told me that his 22-year-old brother had an interview yesterday, and I said, where, where? And he said, at In-N-Out Burger. And
college graduate?
And I just was like...
College graduate?
No, I don't think so. I was just dumbfounded. But 22 years old and you want to work at In-N-Out Burger? And I don't have a problem with you going to get a job. Go get a job. I don't care where it is.
Right.
But, I kind of viewed in my head that, In-N-Out Burger hired high schoolers. And that if you were going to get a job at In-N-Out Burger at 22 or 23 years old, that it would be in some sort of management type program, or that you had some sort of aspiration to work in fast food management. I am not scoffing at getting a job. I want to make sure that people know that. I don't care where you work. I worked in fast food. I did it all through college. I did it all through high school. Actually, not through college, but I did it all through high school. It's an awful place to be. But it's a job, and I was told that In-N-Out Burger also pays $10 an hour.
That's better than minimum wage.
So that's better than minimum wage, and I'm not arguing with you going to get a job. But is that what's available for a 22-year-old young man?
When I knew things had changed with the job market was watching our grocery store, the Tom Thumb, by my house. 3-4 years ago, when you'd go to that Tom Thumb...
And you live in Oak Cliff, correct?
I live in Oak Cliff, yeah.
Are you talking about the one on Jefferson?
Hampton.
Oh, Hampton, near Jefferson?
I live 3 blocks away from there.
Yeah.
When 3-4 years ago, you would go in and the staff was transitory. They were there 1 week, gone the next week. They weren't very nice. They didn't have to do what they were told by the management because they didn't care. Basically, if that job didn't work out, they'd just go get another one. Now, they're much older. They're very polite. They're always there. They're the same people. And I'm starting to see people in their 30s and 40s show up to be checkers. You never saw that before. And now you're seeing people you'd never think would take that job there because there just aren't any other jobs.
And I'm going to tell you, I have been to that Tom Thumb quite often, actually. And I have seen the changes that you're talking about, and I also think that the changes are better.
Oh, they are better. But
the people are better. I think the people have more respect for their jobs. And I think that was part of the problem a decade ago.
What I hope, though, is that corporations, when we get out of this economy, I hope that they start paying those people a living wage to make it more comfortable for me as a customer and you as a consumer to go in there and have good quality help. Because if the economy changes and those people can get better jobs, they're gone. And we're back to the kids who don't give a damn about having that job rather than paying people to do a good job. It's kind of like waiters. 10, 15 years ago, you had this professional class of waiters that were great. They knew what they were doing. They were strong. They were talented. New York and New Orleans, they were all grown adult people, but they were driven out of the business because the job got so devalued. So I hope that we keep in mind professional classes of people. But yeah.
Well, you brought up a topic that I just recently got into a discussion about is the living wage. And whether or not I support a living wage or whether or not a living wage is appropriate or something that can be held as better. My biggest problem with something like a living wage is who gets to decide what the living wage is. And is it a living wage that you are entitled to because you have a Mercedes and you have a mortgage
No.
that is way beyond what you can really pay for? And there's the problem. The problem is the whole entitlement that really 2 generations of Americans have become accustomed to.
I don't think that it entitles you to that or that you've overstated your life and overbought. I think, though, when people are living in poverty with no health insurance, no way to ever get out of poverty because they're stuck, that's a problem. I don't think the minimum wage is large enough. It hasn't kept rate with inflation. It's too low for people to make a living, and there's no way for those people to get out of poverty if we keep them stuck in that situation. So, yes, that's a tough. it's more complex than just.
It is.
It's a lot more complex than just saying raise the minimum wage.
Yeah.
I agree with you there.
And exactly my point. It was like, I don't think I am qualified
I'm
to
not.
say what the minimum wage should be or what a living wage should be, because I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
and
that's a complex one. I do think it needs to be raised. I want to be on the record for that. I think it's way too low at $7. You can't live on $7.25 an hour, and it's really not really worth even going to work. Almost, you can understand why people don't want to go to make $7.25 an hour. What are you going to buy at the end of the day with $7.25 an hour? You can't pay rent anymore anywhere. Basically, you can't buy a car. You can't put your kids through school. You can't feed your kids 3 meals a day. So you understand why people want to stay on the system. Therefore, I think it is mandatory that we find some way to pay these people more to go to these jobs we don't want. But at the same time, you're right, it's too difficult to.
And what kind of effect will it have on the price of bell peppers and the price of corn or apples or a bag of chips?
No, but see, those people aren't paying minimum wage anyway. That's a whole other topic. The corn and all that stuff is illegal. Aliens who are making $2 an hour crossing
No,
the
I'm
border
talking
to
about
pick
the
the
grocery
corn.
store.
Oh.
I'm just talking about the
But no,
grocery
that's,
store.
no, yeah, but see those prices.
Yes,
that's
and
gonna
then we
reflect.
and then we
That's gonna
open
reflect.
up.
That's going to reflect. If
right.
you paid somebody, okay, I think what you have to do is base it more on corporate profits. How much money is Walmart taking home that they're not paying, that
Yeah.
taxpayers are paying those Walmart employees food stamps and everything else because they're part-time employees who don't make a living wage. So by those people working at Walmart, and Walmart does everything, and I hate to use them as a corporate example, but they do everything they can to make sure that those people don't get full-time, don't get health insurance. So therefore, they're not having to spend a lot on labor, and yet the taxpayers are spending a lot on those people who have to get food stamps for their kids, who have to use the county hospital for their health and things like that. Meanwhile, Walmart is taking home billions upon billions upon billions of dollars in profit, sheer profit. That's a problem. So yes, it's a complex issue. You have a company that's basically taking everything they can and running with it and supplying the 1% their millions, while the taxpayers, the middle class taxpayers, pay for their employees' health.
Isn't that capitalism?
It is capitalism. I never said I liked capitalism.
And no, I'm not saying that you don't like capitalism. All I'm saying is that is capitalism.
I didn't say I liked it either.
And so at some point, are we asking Walmart executives and the owners of Walmart to cut their pay so that their employees could make more money? I think we are.
I think we are, yes.
Absolutely, I think we are.
The CEO and the executive pay is so much higher in this country than it is anywhere else in the world. You don't need to make $208 million a year for a job. You just don't. That's insane. When your employees that work for you and are making you the CEO of that company are making $10 an hour and on food stamps that the public is paying for. But it's a vicious circle.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's constantly saying, don't shop at Walmart. And he's like, I don't understand why people shop at Walmart. It's like, they don't have money to go anywhere else. It is more expensive at Tom Thumb grocery store or even Target than it is Walmart. You understand why Walmart now has 18% of the United States grocery business. It's cheaper. And it's just a vicious circle. The people are getting paid less, so they're going to go to the store that has the cheapest prices.
Well, let's talk about Walmart a little bit. A lot of people have been saying on Facebook, we are picking on Chick-fil-A because they're not the only ones that are anti-gay. And Walmart is certainly on that list of not so much being anti-gay, but they do not carry LGBTQ informational books.
No,
I don't want to call it paraphernalia. I've already been said they don't call it paraphernalia.
I don't know where they are on the HRC register. I don't think they're very high, though.
They're not.
They don't offer same-sex benefits to their executives.
They do not. No, and so why aren't we?
Because I don't now. I think that probably you're right. We should now. HRC has had a thing against Exxon for years and years because when Exxon bought Mobil had same-sex benefits. Exxon bought Mobil and then
remove them.
They remove them. So, and I don't buy gas at Exxon. I don't know if you do, because that.
You know what? There have been times that I pull in and I'm looking at and I look up and go, oh shit, I'm looking around for a camera because I've told people don't go to Exxon.
The gay mafia attacks you and runs the parking
and there is an Exxon right there at the corner of Maple and Oak Lawn, and it is on my way home, and I have pulled in there. I'm going to tell you on many occasions, and every time I do, and I'm standing there with the, I think, and so sometimes you just can't help it.
So, okay,
you just don't know where the money is going to because, at some point, not everything is advertised.
Okay, but I know for a fact, then you answered the question that you just asked me. I know for a fact that you're very against Chick-fil-A.
I am.
Why them and not Exxon?
No. I am very against Exxon.
But by convenience, I will say this, I'll give you
because of excuses, it's just they are
convenient.
just
It's convenient,
excuses.
right, it's convenient.
Because I have pulled in and then I go, oh, damn it, I'm not even supposed to be here.
Right.
And so at the end of it, I'm going, oh, damn.
But at the same time, the one thing you have to say, though, that's very different about the two cases is that Exxon has never publicly said, I'm giving money to support groups
Correct.
that want to curtail your rights.
Correct.
Whereas
And
Chick-fil-A did, and I think that's where they crossed the line
Absolutely.
with the gay community.
Absolutely.
When you
And
say to me, I hate you, and I'm going to give money to ruin your life, then it becomes my moral obligation to try to
and I
ruin
want you
your
to have the
business.
God's wrath.
Right. It becomes my moral obligation to try to ruin your business.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't, Exxon has made a business decision to not offer same-sex benefits. I don't know if that is a political. I don't know if that is a religious.
I think it's a lot of both.
I think it probably is a lot of things. They're in restructuring, blah, blah, blah. It is my goal not to get gas at Exxon.
Right.
However, when I was standing there, I looked up and went, am I a hypocrite? No, yeah, you could probably call me a hypocrite.
I think we all are a little bit. I won't say that
At
I've
some
never
point-
been in a Walmart.
Right. I've been in a Walmart. I can tell you. I go to. There's 3 supercenters between my work and my home. It's crazy. Do I? When Target did what they did, I stopped shopping at Target.
And now they're big supporters.
And now
It
they
can
have
get really
changed.
confusing
They
out
have
there.
changed their attitudes. I'm a big supporter of JCPenney, and when I can go into JCPenney, I'm going to go do that. And have made it a point that when I need something, I go to JCPenney to do it.
Well, and that's the thing, too. I'm glad you brought up JCPenney because that drives me nuts. Sarah Palin came out against gays boycotting Chick-fil-A, saying it hurts the Constitution, that confused me to death. But
What an idiot.
And it hurts business in the United States. But when it was Ellen, she and the conservative right-wing nutcases were like, boycott Ellen.
Boycott
Which is
Ellen.
Boycott somebody, a human being's professional life. This was a job that she was being paid for, and they're basically saying fire the person for being gay, which to me is a lot worse than giving money to Uganda.
Totally
Okay.
illegal in the state of Texas, where JCPenney is headquartered.
That's right.
And they could have legally told her, "You're a lesbian, and we're not gonna continue your employment
That's
here."
correct. That's correct.
And Sarah Palin, the hypocrite.
And the million moms, let's go for the million moms. And all
You mean the 80,000 moms?
they're 21,000 or what? They're not even on the web anymore. They're gone.
Oh, good. We need a little less of the million moms.
They are terrible. I mean, just nutcases. Just nuts. I mean, where do these people come from?
You know what? It's been an hour.
It has.
Yes, Will Kolb. You can find him on Facebook. WILLKOLB.
As in boy.
As in boy. Will Kolb, you can find him on Facebook. You can find me here every Tuesday, every Friday from 3 to 4 on RationalBroadcasting.com. This has been Just Keep Breathing. Will, thank you very much for joining me
Thanks
today.
for having me. It was fun.
We'll talk to you soon. Have a great afternoon.
Ethics, energy policy,